Hello, my name's David and we're talking SailGP. SailGP Abu Dhabi event was a great weekend. The introduction of the 27.5 metre wing was the talk of the Grand Prix. The SailGP technical committee decided that new configuration of the yacht was the new wing, large jib, the light wind T-foils and rudders, which gave the boat good balance, which just left reading the data and, more importantly, the crew to provide an advantage. Unusually, all the teams have 3 days worth of practice. Peter Berlin of New Zealand had an accident and badly cut his finger. The media were all over this, trying to find out how bad the cut was and whether he would be racing at the weekend. Luckily, SailGP medical team said he was fit for sailing on Friday. New Zealand black foils were a huge sigh of relief about this. The weather forecast was for 5 knots of wind, gusting to 9, which meant that all the F-50s had to be made as light as possible. So there was only 3 crew on the boats for the 4 races. As you know, there was no event final, but the final would be made of the top 3 teams who had scored the most points all through the season of 2025. It'll be one of Emirates GPR, Australia, New Zealand, or possibly Spain. As they lined up for the first race, you could tell that the winds were very light, so every manoeuvre had to be executed with precision. So the phrase of the day was keep it simple. Spain had to score 6 more points than the Australians to be in the final. Emirates GBR and New Zealand had to just score points to keep their advantage over Spain. Saturday's first race, you could see all the big teams were at the back of the fleet, and Brazil and Switzerland were flying. Germany won the race with Canada second, followed by Denmark, Switzerland and Brazil and the USA. Emirates GBR and the Aussies were battling at the finish line for 1 point. Wow. Rockwell Racing Denmark had a great Saturday and were at the top of the leaderboard. Germany won race 1 and then just seemed to fade away. Brazil and Switzerland had a really close encounter in race 4, almost collided. Almost. Rockwell Denmark skipper Nikolai was on a high as he had won 2 races, came second and a third. Emirates GBR and the Aussies seemed to be battling all day. This left Emirates GBR at the bottom of the leaderboard, which left me scratching my head a bit. The weather forecast for Sunday, which was a bit more wind, was 6 knots of wind, gusting to 10. There would be 4 crew on the boats, which would make it a bit more predictable. Emirates GBR won the first race, so it seemed to make with the crew and the boat came together. Spain needed to finish in front of the Bonds Flying Ruse, but seemed to struggle for pace. Denmark finished 10th. Race 6, France won, with Denmark finishing second, which was enough points to secure the event win, which was well deserved. Spain came in third, but this was not enough points to outqualify the Aussies, which meant in the final there would be Australia, New Zealand and GBR. The final itself was really exciting, as the lead changed 3 times within the race. Bonds Flying Ruse had a terrific start and were first away. At the first mark, Emirates GBR decided to split the course. As the Aussies looked like they were going to clinch the title, they fell off the foils and New Zealand took the lead. Emirates GBR were coming fast across the course and nipped behind the Australians at gate 3. And now GBR were in the lead. And as they jibed down the course at 26 knots, Dylan Fletcher could see that he might be able to win the race, and with a few more manoeuvres he did just that and won the final. As Hannah Mills, strategist of Emirates GBR, said, "We did a pretty good job of staying cool. There was definitely a lot of stress on board." Sir Ben Aisley, CEO of Emirates GBR, who's also spearheading Britain's challenge for the America's Cup in 2027, believes that SailGP title win bodes well for the future. "These are the best sailors in the world," said Ben Aisley. "In just over a year's time, they will be competing in Naples in the America's Cup. It will be the same talent, whether it be in the America's Cup, the Women's America's Cup, and we want to be on top." It will be interesting off-season for SailGP as the new team Artemis carries on setting up. Will they entice more members from their competitors? Who knows? Perth is the season 6 starter. SailGP is their first time there. It's an old America's Cup venue and there will be a lot of in-house sailor support. In the next video I'll be talking about America's Cup, updates on the SailGP and any other connected stories in the calendar. So see you then. Goodbye for now.